Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm going to do an ornament with you. I did a set of 4, but I actually slowed this one down so you can see the process a little bit easier. So this is just one. So I am coating the inside of this glass ornament with polyacrylic. You can use pouring medium. From what I understand, you can even use gloss Mod Podge. I've only used polyacrylic, so that's my point of reference. And then after we drain out the excess, we're just going to lightly tap some gum arabic around on the inside. I think I actually forget to do that on the first one. The colors I'm using for this one are Calypso, African Jade, an Interference Violet, and a little bit of Indian Spice from Colourarte. All are primary elements except for the Indian Spice, which is a Bling It, so it's just it's a mica color. It doesn't have any like dry paint. Okay, I did do the gum arabic. So I'm just lightly dusting the gum arabic in a couple of spots. You don't really want huge chunks of it or high peaks of it. I have a couple spots that are a little bit too dense, so I'm just dropping a little bit of polyacrylic to moisten them. If they don't have enough moisture, they'll dry kind of clear or white. They won't absorb some of that color like you want. Like down there on the bottom, I have too much. So I just broke it up a little bit with my popsicle stick. It's not really a big deal if it dries like that. You can always fix it later. It's just more of a pain. So you don't want too much liquid in there, so I'm just letting it drain out. And then I'm just going to take my first color, which is going to be the Calypso, which is a beautiful color, by the way. I think it's from the Secret Garden set. And I'm going to lightly dust that around with a popsicle stick. Now, my word to the wise, because I've learned this, is when you're using a dark, rich color, use it in certain places and then like kind of treat it like a big accent color, but resist the temptation to put it everywhere because it will take over. So I'm basically kind of dusting it in a couple of places. This particular primary element from Colourarte has kind of a larger particulate size, so it's not super fine ground, which is part of what gives it that big time sparkle. But it's just a deep, rich color, so I'm just kind of dusting it in a few areas, making sure I have it, you know, kind of fairly well represented, and then I'm going to tap it on the meaty part of my hand to spread it around a little bit. But look at what a gorgeous color that is. And then I'm going to use African Jade, and I'm going to fill in the blanks with Interference Violet and Indian Spice. Now, Interference Violet and Indian Spice, if you go to the Colourarte website, will be under the Bling It section. And the Calypso and the African Jade are actually primary elements. If you can't find them in a set, you can find them under the Master Color Library. And you can use Mandy1120 to save 15% off of your entire order. And I think that discount code is actually going up to 20% if it hasn't already. So check it out. It's in the description box below. So African Jade is next. So this is going to be our lighter color. This is a beautiful color. And a really nice complement to the Calypso. It's a nice, bright, kind of turquoisey blue. And so I decided to use Interference Violet so that I'd have some contrast. And I'll show that to you shortly. Shaking it around, tapping it a little bit, moving everything around. It's pretty decent coverage because the African Jade is pretty fine, but we still have to fill in some gaps. And make sure you check it out at the end. I'll show you the set after they've kind of set up for 24 hours. Really beautiful. Okay, so at this point I'm just finding spots that need a little bit more attention and tapping in a little bit of that African Jade. Now, obviously, if you don't want to use too much color, you need to get a little less heavy-handed on the popsicle stick and be a little more intentional about rotating and all of that. So at this point, I'm just gently tapping on the meaty part of my hand. And again, you do need to be careful because I have broken one. I got a little free-spirited and broke one. So Interference Violet is about to get introduced here. Now when you see the close-up, you may not be able to see the violet as much as you can in person. It really added a nice touch, I thought. I love interference colors. I really, really, really love using them in resin, in acrylic. I love to use them in geodes, especially the larger particulate like the diamonds, so you can see up close how beautiful that interference violet is. Try to give you a little glimpse where it peeks through. It's really gorgeous. Now I probably could have just stopped right there and not added the gold, but I did add the gold for added coverage. And Indian Spice is such a beautiful gold. Now the fun thing, if you're not familiar with color art, you can use the Bling It colors, like the interference colors and the Bling It mica colors in resin or acrylic, which is really cool. You can use primary elements in acrylic, but you have to do some things to them first. So you have to wet them down with vivid, I just had a giant brain fart. Vivid art fluid. Look how beautiful this little guy is turning out. But the primary elements work great in this technique. It's because of the dry paint in them being water soluble. They just really mix up nicely and create some really cool effects. Just love the way this is turning out. This is one of my favorite sets that I've made so far. And they really dried beautifully. So now this is a little bit slower than the other ornaments I've done because I kind of tried to do this in real time. I would say on average these take me about 15 minutes a piece to make, and that's assuming I get it right and don't have to fix it. So this is not a fast process, but it's very therapeutic, you know. It's a little messy, but it's not as messy as paint pouring. So sometimes when you just need to have some creative expression, and you can do them a couple at a time, and so yeah, I really love it. So I'm going to show you a close-up here in a second, and then at the very end I just do a quick flyover of all four of them. I think I'm going to try to add some abalone shell in there as a filler, or maybe I just showed you that and I don't actually end up doing it. I don't know. Oh no, that's Indian Spice. Oh no. I opened Harvest Gold, but then I end up using Indian Spice. So Indian Spice is a Bling It color, so it's a metallic. And I'm just basically adding it in there for added coverage. For some reason, the metallics stick well to the surface, even if it's not quite as damp. So you can shake it up, and it's going to find some of those places where you need some coverage. You can see a couple of gold places peek through. It's just kind of fantastic like that. So once these dry, I don't do anything else to them. I just put the little topper back in and voila. So I probably will list these on my Etsy shop after I make some. I don't know who's going to buy ornaments after Christmas, but I'm going to have a whole bunch of them. So anyway, I hope you guys are not bored with these. I don't care that Christmas is over. I just like making them. And yeah, I have some other ideas of doing similar stuff. So here's a close-up, just so you can see the colors up close. Really pretty. And see some of those details. And here's the set after about 24 hours after they're all dry. so you can see how beautiful they turned out. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And Happy New Year to everyone. And thank you for entertaining all of my ornament videos. Thanks. Talk to you soon. Bye.